I'd like to share with you what this really means in terms of an organization. When I was much younger and I'd left university, just left, I was set up and started to run my own companies. And I always wondered why I was the first guy at the office in the morning and always the last one to leave. And I wondered why my staff weren't as motivated as I was. In fact, that set me on a quest which has taken me all my life to discover what it is that turns some people on and some people are not turned on. What makes some people fully alive, creative, entrepreneurial, exploring, experimenting, and other people who are not interested in that. And it's not to say one is right or one is wrong. Both can be equally okay. But I was interested in the first case. And only last year I read a very interesting article in Harvard Business Review, and it was the results of research done by the Gallup poll. And they took statistics, they took a survey of many, many thousands of companies in all sorts of different areas, from banking to manufacturing cars, clothing, what have you, retail to wholesale. And what they found is that they pulled out of their statistics the companies that were satisfying customer needs. So the customer needs were satisfied, and they looked at this sample of companies and they found something very interesting. They found within the sample some companies doing extraordinarily better than others. So they looked at the sample of the ones that were doing really well, and this is what they discovered. And I think it's one of the world's best kept secrets. They found that the companies that were doing extraordinarily well had fully engaged staff who really liked their work and liked the company. Now, when that happens, then the customers become emotionally engaged, fully engaged with the company. They like the company, they like the staff, they like the products. Now, what happens when that happens is that these companies, the ones who were doing really well, their sales were growing 80% and more, I think it was 83% faster than the ones that were just satisfying customer needs. Now, the interesting thing on top of that was that the people who were buying from these companies, the customers, were willing to pay more for the products and services. In fact, the gross margin of these companies, on average, was 25% more than the companies that were just satisfying customer needs. And the net profit, I think, was about 22% or more greater than those companies just satisfying customer needs. So what we're talking about is the power and the value of things other than just basic product and just basic services. It's the added value that's brought into it. And we're just talking about emotion here. Just imagine if we can bring in inspiration into this equation. What a difference inspiration would bring into an organization in terms of sales growth, gross margin, and profitability. Think what that would mean to your organization. Just pause, take a moment, take a pencil and a paper, and work out what would it mean to your company if it was growing its sales 80% faster than its nearest competitors, its gross margin was 20% plus or more than its nearest competitors, and your net profit was 20% more. What would that financially mean? Because this is what we're talking about when you start to bring out the inner essence of people. That's their inspiration, their motivation, their thought and mental capacity, and then bringing that into physical form, either as products or as services.